there, welcome to day 7. Today we're going to just spend 5 to 10 minutes thinking about and exploring Warrior, which is one of the foundations of yoga. I did a yoga class this morning and was all dressed for yoga and then changed into my jeans and then suddenly had some time. But I thought, well, I'm going to keep my jeans on because you can get changed to do yoga and often it's a good idea. You can have a mat, you can have equipment, but you can also just have a go with what you've got. So we're going to come to Warrior from mountain pose, although quite often when you're doing a yoga class you would come to Warrior from something like downward dog. Now there's 3 main variations. I'm going to show you the 2, and then if we've got a little bit of time then we'll just have a quick explore of the 3rd one, because Warrior 3 does involve balance. So to come to Warrior, remember our mountain. I'm going to stand in mountain. And then what I'm going to do, now the thing that I want to say to you about getting used to Warrior is that I'm going to take a wide stance, but if it feels better for you, you don't need to do that. You can explore having a slightly shorter stance as you're learning. So I'm going to have my left foot turned, actually no I'm not, because I'm going to come to Warrior 1 first, so there we go. What I'm going to do Warrior 1 is I'm going to step forward. So I'm essentially in a lunge position with my right leg and my right knee is bent, and we're looking to get an angle where the knee is at 90 degrees, but again it can take some time. Now what I want is to bring my hips forward, so I'm going to turn my left foot out probably about 40 degrees, but experiment with that. And then if you put your hands on your hips, you're looking to have both hips facing forward, and we're thinking about pushing down into the outside edge of that back foot and pushing forward into the right foot. So that's giving us that stability. We're checking our hips, tucking the pelvis under slightly. I'm going to broaden my stance a little bit, and essentially that's a Warrior 1 position. Now traditionally with Warrior 1 we would lift up our arms, stretch them up overhead, so that's the full expression of the pose. But if that's too much, you can come to cactus arms, you can have your hands on your hips, or you can have your hands in prayer. So this is a basic Warrior 1 pose, and there's lots of things that we can do from this position, but all I'm going to do is just show you this today. And it's a really strong pose. You should really feel that in your back leg and in your front leg. So that's Warrior 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transition into Warrior 2 to show you, and then we'll do them both on the other side. So with Warrior 1 our hips are facing forwards. With Warrior 2 we want our hips to face to the side. Now I'm going to see whether I can do this from this angle. So I'm going to keep this leg where it is, and I'm going to bring my back leg around so that my heel is in line with my arch. And again you can see my bum keeps sticking out, so I'm going to tuck that in. And then what we're trying to do, we're trying to get our front knee to track over our toes, so it's not collapsing in, it's tracking over our toes. Tucking the pelvis in. If you really squeeze your belly button in towards your spine in these poses, then it protects your back. And I'm going to stretch out my arms, really pushing through my fingers, and I'm going to look over my right shoulder. And that is Warrior 2. I'm just going to show you that from the front so that you can see how that looks, and you will need to kind of mess about with the alignment to see how it feels for you. So again, it's a really strong pose, and you're pushing into that outside edge of that back foot. And there's loads of positions we can come to from here, which we can explore another time. So that's Warrior 1 and 2, but we always do everything on both sides. So I'm going to do the same with the left foot forward this time. So I'm going to step forward, and you don't need to have your feet parallel. I mean, you can, but that doesn't give you a huge amount of balance. So I like to bring my back foot out, looking for that about 45-degree turn out of that back foot, checking that the hips are square to the front. And I'm going to raise my arms. And the more you push into that back outside leg, foot, the stronger you feel and the deeper the stretch. And then from here, I'm going to transition that to the Warrior Two. So I'm bringing the back foot round. I'm looking to have my hips both facing towards the long edge of the mat. If I had a mat, stretch out my arms, tucking my pelvis in. I'm going to look over that front hand. And it feels really strong. And as I say, there's lots of positions we can get to from here. So that's Warrior One and Warrior Two. How are we doing for time? Right, I'm going to quickly show you Warrior Three. Now, all I'm going to say is this is something you can have a go with, because the full expression of the pose requires a lot of balance. So I'm going to come to the side to show you. So essentially in Warrior Three, we're looking at balancing. So I'm going to step forward with my left foot and I'm going to put my weight into my left foot. There's different things that you can do with your arms, but I like to do aeroplane arms because that helps with balance. So stretch your arms out, but really push out through your fingers. And then I'm going to put my weight forward into my left foot. And then you can just lift your toe a little bit. If you feel safe, you can start to lean forwards. And that's the basics of a Warrior Three. There's all sorts of things we can do from here, but you should feel that's really, really strong into the supporting leg. So that's a Warrior Three. We'll do that on the other side just for you to be even. So I'm going to put my weight into my right leg. I'm going to prepare by lifting my chest, pushing my arms out behind me, and then just have a go. Lift your toes a tiny bit. If it feels comfortable, lift them more. And you're looking to be leaning forward with your front body, stretching that back leg out behind you. And I'm going to let that go. So that's Warrior One, Warrior Two, and Warrior Three. And at some point we're going to do some sun salutations and we'll use those poses. So enjoy your day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.